So let's talk about a really powerful secret from Steve Jobs. It's this one single idea that he truly believed could completely flip how you see the world, and more importantly, your role in it.
It all really boils down to this one big question. What if the way we've been taught to see life, as this solid, fixed thing that you just exist inside of, is totally wrong?
Okay, so to really get what he's talking about, we have to first look at the worldview he was pushing back against. It's the one most of us are taught growing up, and Jobs pretty much saw it as living your life inside a box. And he had this great way of describing it. He said, we're told that the world is just the way it is. Your job is to live your life inside that world, get a nice family, save some money, and this is the key part, try not to bash into the walls too much. Basically, just don't rock the boat.
So what did Jobs think about this way of living? Well, he didn't mince words. He called it, straight up, a very limited life. To him, the idea of just staying within the lines without ever questioning them, that was the ultimate trap. And this really breaks it down perfectly, right? On one side, you've got this idea that life is fixed, that there are walls you shouldn't touch. But on the other side is the idea that life is flexible, that you can actually shape it yourself. It's the difference between being a passenger and grabbing the steering wheel. Okay, so how do you get from one side to the other? How do you make that leap? Well, according to Jobs, it all comes down to discovering one simple but totally world-changing fact. This is the big turning point. This is the question that just blows the whole thing wide open. What if that entire idea of fitting in, of not bashing into the walls, is just plain wrong? And here it is. This is the simple fact. Everything around you, everything you call life, our culture, our technology, the rules we follow, it was all made up by people. And here's the kicker. Those people were no smarter than you.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. The implication is just huge. It means that you have the same raw potential, the same intelligence as the people who literally designed the world you're living in right now. The barrier isn't your ability, it's just believing that you can. All right, so you get it. You know this fact. Now what? What do you do with it? This is where the idea stops being a philosophy and starts being an action. Because knowing this has a direct, real-world consequence for how you can live your life. And I just love how he puts it. You can poke life. It's not about having some massive, perfect plan, right? It's about being curious enough to just push on something and see what happens. It's realizing that life isn't a statue. It's a system that actually responds when you interact with it. You can influence it. And you can see how this all builds on itself, step by step. It all starts with that first discovery that you can push. Then you watch what happens. Something pops out. From there, you realize you can change things, you can improve them, and ultimately, you can leave your own mark on the world.
You know, getting this idea isn't just some small tweak to your thinking. Jobs was clear about this. Once you really get it, it's not just a change, it's a permanent transformation of who you are.
So when you boil it all down, what's it really about? It's about throwing out that old, mistaken idea that you're just along for the ride. It's about finally realizing that you have a say, that you have influence, that you have the power to create.
And this is really his powerful bottom line. This isn't just some nice advice you hear and forget. Once you learn this, once it truly clicks deep down, you can't go back. You'll never be the same again, because you can't unsee your own power. And that leaves us with one final thought, a question for you. Knowing what you now know, that the world was built by people just like you, and that you can influence it, what will you poke?